What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. Now look, AVC, what are you doing? Normally you're full screen when you say hello to us. Well look, I got a reason for it, okay? Calm down. But before I get into it, just know we're talking about predictions for every single NBA team after the 2025 trade deadline. The trade deadline has come and gone. We've got still quite a long season ahead of us where normally the NBA starts to slow down a little bit in terms of interest and everything because, we start to kind of figure out who the playoff teams are at the end of the day. We're kind of just waiting for the playoffs. But there's going to be a lot of stuff to cover still up to this point, so we want to look at some deadline things, or I should say some post-deadline things for each NBA team, kind of talk about where they go from here. But anyway, for those of you interested why I'm doing things a little bit differently this time, I got my lip busted while playing pickup yesterday. Basically, your boy, I'm gonna break it all down for you guys, right? I'm playing some pickup with some dudes. I catch somebody drives, they kick out to me. I hit him with jab, right, cross, left. That's my move every single time. Gets everybody every single time ever since college. I'm going. I hit the Euro. Dude tries to swipe it up at the ball, just catches me up on the lip, busted my lip and everything. And so YouTube doesn't tend to like things like that, so it's a little swollen and red and a little bit bloody up here still. But two, I don't think anybody's gonna want to keep watching the video if they see it that closely, so I'm keeping it reserved a little bit right now. I will tell you guys that I had some nice moves in pickup otherwise, so I kept playing. I'm not gonna lie, I nutmegged somebody at one point while they were pressing me. Felt really good about that, so is what it is. I know we've got other things to talk about in this video. One further update on things, just skip ahead like 1 minute otherwise if you don't want to hear me talk about channel things. I apologize that I didn't get a video up yesterday. I just had too much work to do. I'm filling out a lot of scouting reports and stuff right now, and I was like, I can't rush this, and I don't want to get you guys just a video for no reason. I know I only promise 3 videos a week, but I really try to get you guys 5. I really, really do, so I'm going to try to get you guys 5 videos this week still. So we'll see. We will see. But anyway, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Let's get back into things. So predictions for every NBA team after the 2025 deadline. Bleacher Report got an update. Looks good. Looks clean. It's different, that's for sure, but it looks clean. I don't know if you guys have updated on your app and everything. I'm one of those people that has to update apps like all the time as soon as there's an update, so I'm liking it so far. I'm curious to see like what they say about each team within this. I think this is a really cool article topic, so I'm very, very curious to see where we go with this. The Atlanta Hawks. Is this Trae Young's last run with the franchise? I would have to imagine so, honestly. I know the rumors have kind of been floating for about a season and a half now at this point, but with the move that they made at the deadline of trading DeAndre Hunter, right? Jalen Johnson isn't anywhere ready to like really contribute at like a high level, and I'm not sure we're ever going to see like all-star Jalen Johnson, right? I think they've got a really good player in them, and it just feels like there's more tear down than like building that needs to happen at this point. I mean, what did we even say in the pre-draft process? I think Reese Shea will become a nice starter in the NBA. I'm not sure I see an all-star in him whatsoever, and that's no knock against him. I think this was just a lower quality draft class than typical years, and that doesn't mean he can't get there, but I don't see how this team becomes like a contender within the next like 2-3 seasons, and I can't imagine Trae Young's all that interested in kind of waiting that long. I don't know, at the end of the day, maybe he really likes Atlanta and this is where he wants to kick it or whatever, but what's going to be the reason outside of money for him sticking around after that contract, right? Otherwise, he's just going to want like a sign-and trade or something like that. I don't know. So why not just trade him now while maybe there's a little bit more value? I think there'd be plenty of teams that'd be interested. Orlando Magic. I'm not saying it's the perfect answer for you guys, but y'all need somebody that can shoot and create some offense, y'all. I'm just saying. But anyway, no, I tend to think that this is going to be the last season for Trae in Atlanta, but we'll see. The Boston Celtics sleepwalk to the 2nd seed. Yeah, that feels about right. I don't think they're going to catch Cleveland. Cleveland's playing really, really good well, the last like 10 games haven't been like elite. Like I said, they're kind of just trying to sleepwalk their way into the All-Star break right now, which is pretty common for teams, honestly. It's a trend that we tend to observe, at least when we're kind of looking at analytics and stuff. But I think this team will go in as a 2nd seed. Their whole goal is going to be try to stay healthy for the playoffs, right? They know that if they do things correctly, they should be back in the finals, right? And I know how good Cleveland is and everything. At the end of the day, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown are just like 2 really elite basketball players. Guys like Porzingis can be a big difference maker, right? They've got guys that have been there and done it before, right? I mean, they've got a nice 8-man rotation that they work with, which in the playoffs, that's what you need, right? So I think they have a little bit of everything on this team, and I think they're going to be tough to take out come playoff time. But, we'll see. We'll see. The Brooklyn Nets, lots of injury management days. Yeah, not going to be surprised by that at all. This team's trying to tank, right? Pretty evident. They moved guys. They took picks on. They didn't trade Cam Johnson. They didn't trade Nick Claxton. Didn't move on from D'Angelo Russell again. I don't even know if they could actually move on from D'Angelo Russell in time or not. I don't know where they were at with that rule or anything, but there was no rumors of them actually doing so, and I can't imagine there would have been much of a market for it anyway. But yeah, those are kind of the three players that you look at that are actual like winning impact basketball players, right? That Brooklyn can throw on the floor. And I'm sure if they get any knick-knack injury, like they're probably just going to sit him at this point, right? This team's trying to lose every game possible. They want to end up in the Cooper Flag sweepstakes at the end of the day. So there you go. I think that's where the Brooklyn Nets should go. By the way, I got a really good comment today, I think it was. By the way, we'll do a comment to the video at the end where we'll go back to like my YouTube channel and stuff and pick out a comment from you guys to kind of highlight. It's a fun thing that I like to do. I was very tired last week when I was recording, or even just earlier this week. Haven't been sleeping a whole bunch because I've been working, and I've been saying at the end of the day way too much, and I've peeped it during my videos. I need to exchange my vocabulary words for something else. So apologies for that. I'm gonna try to be better with my word choice. So let's see if we can make it through this video without doing it again. I guess we'll see. But no, yeah, I'm in agreement with this one right here. The Nets are just going to try to go to the offseason. I think their teardown is pretty much complete at this point, if I'm being real with y'all. Charlotte Hornets, LaMelo Ball's patience is tested. This isn't really saying much at all. Like, yeah, of course, like the Hornets aren't going anywhere this year. It's pretty evident. Can't imagine it's going to get much better. No Brandon Miller, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't really know where they go from here, right? I do think Charlotte's got something cooking on the back end. I really do. I don't know if LaMelo Ball is in the future for that. I truly don't. There's still a lot that I need to understand about LaMelo Ball before I feel like, yeah, this is a cornerstone piece for my team, right? He's incredibly talented, really, really good basketball player, right? One of the best we have in the NBA, but a large amount of flaws still. And again, a young basketball player, a lot of time to correct a lot of things. And it's not like he has a ton of help out there. I like the coach they've brought in. The front office is making smart moves and they're being active about it. So it seems like they've got a plan and they're executing on it, and it makes logical sense to me. They almost struck really big with the Mark Williams deal, and we'll see where that ends up going. But I think it'll be interesting. I don't know if LaMelo Ball pops up in trade rumors and stuff. And like, look, Charlotte, I know you guys haven't had a lot to root for over the years. I wouldn't trip. Like, this is an outside perspective, somebody that's pretty well like endowed in the rest of the NBA type stuff. Like, I wouldn't trip if he starts becoming like trade rumors or you even move him. Like, I don't think you should be like super confident in this guy whatsoever. But that's just me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see with LaMelo Ball. My Chicago Bulls. Matas Buzelis breakout begins. So yeah, ever since Zach LaVine got traded, they've moved Buzelis into the first five. They're bringing Patrick Williams off the bench as well, which, look, Matas is outplaying Pat at this point. Like, he just is. You guys have heard my criticisms of Buzelis and why I'm not seeing, like, I don't really see star-end potential in him. I'm not saying he can't be, like, a starter at some point. There's a lot of things that I think get a little bit overhyped with him. Like, people call him, like, a really good, like, ball handler, and, like, he's really not, at least from my observation. Like, I look at him, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know where you're going with this. I know where you're going. I think to an untrained eye, you just see a 6'10" guy that's running up and down the court and not losing the ball off his foot, and you think it's, all that great. But overall, he's playing really good since he's been thrown in the first five, which is awesome. He plays with a ton of intensity. Like, he's not scared of people, which I love that kind of stuff. He's shooting the ball a lot better. He's getting to the rack. He's really taking advantage in transition, which is awesome. So for like a young guy as a rookie, I know I just kind of spent some time like telling you guys what I don't maybe like about him, which, look, as a coach, that's my fucking job at the end of the day, so be cool about it, okay? Criticism is a good thing. Just keep people that criticize you closer, as long as they're doing it, like, in a respectful way, I suppose. But, no, I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Buzelis as of late. Like I said, just keep pushing, keep trying to get better each and every day, and you're going to have the opportunity to go do some things the rest of the season, because, that game against, was it Detroit? Or was it Cleveland, the one where we just got absolutely, like, they took belt to ass on us? That was nuts. So We'll see. I like what Buzel's has been doing recently. I hope to see it continue. The Cleveland Cavaliers finish with the best offense in NBA history. They very well could. You add DeAndre Hunter to the mix now. Yeah, that's what they're saying right here. Like, they've got 5 starters that can go get you 20 points on any given night. Bench is looking pretty solid. I'm sure they'd like to add another center to the rotation, but, you know, why not, right? I don't see why not. This is a pretty simple one. Cleveland is really, really good this year, and I can't wait to see where they go for the rest of the season, man. I'm really glad that the Garland-Mitchell thing is working out, because you heard me talk about it in the offseason a lot. I'm like, okay, statistically, this group isn't working. I can't quite figure out why it's not working. Like the 4 main guys, right, just can't seem to like really coexist together, but they're so talented and so dynamic, they really should be able to. So shout out Kenny Atkinson, man. He's a phenomenal coach. We knew it back in the Brooklyn days when he was making D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie just like kick people's asses while they got to do their little dances on the sidelines. So big fan of it. The Dallas Mavericks survive in the regular season, die in the playoffs. Sure, I guess. We'll see when Anthony Davis comes back. Daniel Gafford's down now as well. They like Dwight Powell, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, and Anthony Davis all went down. I've seen some Mavericks fans saying, I think we're cursed now that we traded Luka Doncic. I think you're right. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. I'm not a spiritual man by any means, but y'all might have a little curse or something. Y'all might want to get some voodoo or whatever, or take some of those, like, I don't know what them things are, the tea leaves or whatever, and light them bitches, or the sage. Y'all gotta start lighting some sage around the stadium and just start waving that bitch around and be like, hey, like, be gone, spirits, be gone. You're gonna need a lot of sage though for all the Luka Doncic potential that was traded, but. Yeah, I think this team just isn't a contender as much now. I think they are a contender still. This is a very good basketball roster, but this feels like such a deflating situation. I have a hard time believing that the staff is focused and that the players are focused. Like, these guys are professionals at the end of the day, but they are people. Jason Kidd's looking at this like, why the hell am I even here? Klay Thompson's like, bro, I came here for fucking Luka. Why'd y'all do that shit? It just... I don't know. We all know it doesn't make sense. So I could totally see them dying in the playoffs. Like, totally. I think that's not hard for any of us to imagine. But shout out Max Christie. He's been great for them since he got there. The Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, what's going on here? Wins 4th MVP. He should. He really should. I'm not saying Shea's not having an amazing season. He is. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets it, right? Just the MVP doesn't always equate to the most valuable player per se. And look, if you want to make an argument for Shea, you got numbers to make that argument. I'm going to use numbers and my just like basketball coaching sense to know that Jokic just makes every single thing happen for this team. Like, literally everything. It is astounding what this guy does and how much of an impact he has. So shout out Jokic, man. I don't need to tell you guys how great he is. Yeah. Anyway, Detroit Pistons finish above 500 for the first time since 2015. Good Lord, I hope so. Shout out Asar Thompson. Put him in the starting lineup. It's going great. What have I been trying to tell you on this channel for a minute now? Also, they only played Malik Beasley like 16 minutes the other night, and he still scored 24 points on good efficiency. Put them both out there. Put them both out there. So what would that leave you for a lineup then? That's Cade, Beasley, Asar, Tobias, Duren. Is that what I'm suggesting they run? Because do they still start Tim Hardaway? I can't remember. I'm trying to remember box scores from the past couple nights, but no, that's your lineup. Asar is awesome, right? Then you got an interesting little bench with like Schroeder, Ron Holland, Beef Stew, right? Obviously Ivy when he gets back. I like Fontecchio still. I want to see if Fontecchio kind of picks things back up again. I'm totally missing somebody else, and I can't remember who it is, but you know, whatever. At the end of the day, I said it. God damn it. You know what? The first step in making a change is recognition, and you know what? We're doing it here. Somebody start a counter in the comments. You guys know I respond to every single comment, right? Go make some shit that makes me laugh. Why not? So yeah, I think the Pistons totally can. I think the Schroeder edition is going to be a nice pickup for them because they really don't play like a very complex like basketball system and all. They're pretty free flowing, so I think Schroeder's going to fit well in that. I like it. The Golden State Warriors Jimmy Butler trade will look good this year. Yeah, pissed off Jimmy tends to work well. It's worked out well so far this year. My biggest question: how long is this motherfucker Quentin Post going to keep on doing what he's doing? Right, like that dude's cooking for them from 3. Like just having a 7-foot, he's not going to grab like rebounds and block a ton of shots or anything like that. But offensively, just having a 7-foot dude that can step out and hit, that's awesome. I'm not going to predict that it's going to keep going. Like, I just don't have enough evidence to say that whatsoever. But I like Jimmy Butler on this team. Jimmy Butler made them better, right? We knew that after the trade. Like, that's just how Jimmy Butler works. So I'm very curious to see where this team goes. I feel like I should pull up the standings. Like, where are we at this point with the Golden State Warriors? Where are we? We are the 10 seed right now. Okay, we're tied with the Kings. The Kings I could totally see falling off. I don't know if the Clippers will fall off. I think the Rockets are going to drop considerably. I don't know if they can drop that much, though. But just like a long-term prediction I have is I think the Rockets are going to start to fizzle out as teams start to figure them out a little bit more. I don't think their team is quite as good as we get to see it as right now. And, like, will the Suns catch up? I don't know. It's so hard to say. Their rotation is so weird in Phoenix. So I don't know. We'll see with Golden State. We'll see. But I think Jimmy Butler makes them better, and it gives them a better chance than what they had before. So yeah, the Houston Rockets. Oh, I promise I don't read this stuff beforehand. The Houston Rockets slide into the play-in tournament. Yeah. I love this. This is a very astute observation. Losers of 6 of their past 7. The Houston Rockets are going through a rough patch without Fred VanVleet. The Rockets are 30-15 when VanVleet plays. Jabari Smith Jr. is also out right now. Just 3.5 games separate Houston from playing. Yep. The Rockets chose to stay quiet at the deadline. I think that's totally fine. I think they made all the moves that they needed to. I just keep evaluating this young group and kind of go from there. See if you can't cash out on a KD in the offseason or something like that. Because look, I don't see a young talent on this team outside of Şengün and Thompson. And look, there's a lot of other talents on this team that I wouldn't move in an instant to go get just like a KD or something like that. I think it's going to be more valuable for the Rockets long term to just invest in like 2 or 3 young guys that you feel really good about and do whatever you can to supplement them. Because I just don't think you're going to develop a whole team of studs like that. This isn't 2K, they don't just guaranteed get better. So just my 2 cents on this, but I do think the Rockets are going to slide out a little bit. I think they've been overperforming a bit this season, and the injuries aren't helping. So just my take. The Indiana Pacers get a healthy core, gets home court advantage. Yeah, I mean, Halliburton playing better and everything. Why the hell not? Where are we at right now? The 4 seed? Yeah, I could see that. The Bucks I think Lillard is out tonight. I don't think he's out much longer, but Giannis is out for a little bit now. I don't see the Pistons or the Heat catching up. I could see the Magic, Hawks, and Bulls continuing to drop. I'm waiting for Philly to kick back up, right? I don't think Toronto or Brooklyn is necessarily going to do it, though. So I wouldn't be surprised if these standings stay pretty pat overall, especially at the top. I could see the Bucks being the only team really fighting for it. So yeah, no, I could see that overall. A starting 5 of Halliburton, Nembhard, Mathurin, Siakam, and Turner has a net rating of plus 12.2. Wow, that's pretty good. 70th percentile. The next 2 highest used lineups have net ratings of minus 4.9 and minus 5.8. Wow. Okay, yeah, so yeah, you basically have to have your starting 5 or you're just not using your rotation correctly, which is what my company would come in and tell you how to do better. So hire me, Indiana, if you really need me to, or if you need me. So, that's, I agree. I think the Pacers will probably maintain this. They're a good-ass basketball team. The Clippers, Ty Lue revives Ben Simmons' career. What are we saying exactly here? Let's quantify this. Are we saying Ben Simmons is going to get back to what he was, or that Ben Simmons is going to be like a fine NBA player? By the way, go watch my whole video on it whatsoever about Ben Simmons that we put up not too long ago. It was kind of interesting. We broke down some of his statistics and stuff. Blah, blah, blah. The Clippers, team that ranks just 28th in assists to turnover ratio. Okay, and 25th in assist percentage. Simmons and Los Angeles should go actually quite well together, especially thanks to Lue. I think whoever wrote this should probably go watch my video as well, because I'm not sure the turnover thing is actually going to be helpful there. So we'll see. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope so. I want to see Ben Simmons back to what he was. So we'll see. The Lakers, LeBron James brings out the best in Luka Doncic. Look, I don't see why not. I don't have a reason to tell you that won't happen. I don't know at the end of the day. I don't know the inner workings of this team and everything like that, but I'd find it hard to believe personally, just knowing what I know about people and how these team dynamics work and stuff. I see LeBron, I see JJ Redick, I see a Lakers organization that, holds a certain standard to things. I don't see a way that Luka doesn't like take things pretty personally and kind of kick it up a notch. But you never know at the end of the day. I don't know at the end of the day. God damn, I started again. I feel like that was a proper sentence. I feel like that one was at least a proper sentence for it, and I didn't use it as like a filler for things. But whatever, fuck you guys. I tend to believe this. I tend to believe that this is going to be the case. So I hope so. I very much hope so. It was fun watching them play the other day. JJ Redick did some really cool actions that I think we'll explore in our last week in the NBA video or something. I kind of want to do a recap of the different plays that JJ Redick was drawing up for Luka, because I think something that people didn't realize for what was going well in the few games that Luka was playing with Dallas this year is that this was like the year where the most of his buckets were coming as assisted buckets. Like they were really using him in an offense like I was saying they needed to do with Atlanta and Trae Young, right? They need to get him more assisted buckets and put him in more of a system to use him more in a strategic way like that. They started doing that in Dallas to him, which was a lot of credit to their staff. And JJ Redick went right to work with that type of stuff. So credit to them. I'm very, very curious to see the basketball X and O side of that. The Grizzlies finally get some respect. Hey, look, we've given them the respect on this channel, right? We're giving them the respect. Vince is back now. Gigi Jackson's back. They're at the end of the rotation right now. I expect those two to work their way back up in some capacity. I don't think I think Jalen Wells and Edey, who currently start, more so serve like 9th, 10th man type roles on this team by the end of the season. But I think like the Aldamas, the Gigi Jacksons, the Vince Williams and such, probably Brandon Clark in there as well, I think they become more important to the team's success to go along with the Morant, the Bane, and the Jaren Jackson. So, I don't know. We have respect for them. I think this team's awesome. I think they're really well managed right now. And yeah, good things ahead. Good things ahead. The Miami Heat, Kel'el Ware makes late run at Rookie of the Year. Yeah, he very well could. It seems like Stephon Castle might start to run away with it, as he seems to be finding a little bit of like consistency right now, but Ware's definitely going to be in the conversation as well. He's going to have a lot of opportunities with Jimmy gone, so we will see. We will see. I think it's going to be interesting. I could see, depending on when Sarr comes back, him getting back into it as well, but I don't know if Washington is going to be able to put him in a situation to where the offense will be easier to him. Like, again, I just don't even see pick and rolls out of Sarr in, like, Washington. It's so annoying to me. Like, and this is a guy that can put the ball on the floor, too. Like, it's so strange to me. But maybe with Middleton and Smart, maybe better things happen. So I will be curious. The Milwaukee Bucks, Kyle Kuzma isn't enough to make a title run. I don't think that that's, like, unlikely. Like, that's more than fair. I don't think anybody's saying Kyle Kuzma is going to be, like, a huge difference maker. I think the move made sense. It certainly sentimentally hurt to move Middleton for Kuzma, and it could go drastically wrong. Like, I think we're all very aware to the person that Kyle Kuzma is and the talent that he is and what ends up showing on the court most of the time. So I don't think that that's hard to believe at all. So, yeah, Milwaukee, be on the lookout. Timberwolves, Rob Dillingham helped save the season. They should call us the rookies help save the season. Julius Randle's been out. We're not rooting for injuries, just saying facts. Julius Randle's been out. Naz Reid's been starting. The pace picks up. We get closer to that optimal lineup that we keep talking about with Minnesota, where things start to go a little bit better for them. And what was the other thing we kept saying all year? Get the young guys in. They'll at least run. They'll get you easier buckets. They're hungry. They're going to play well around Ant. You need hungry guys around him. All of a sudden now, Dillingham, Terrence Shannon Jr., Clark, they're the first guys off the bench. Things are going a little bit better for them as of late. So shout out Minnesota, man. I hope so. I mean, there's issues with these rookies. Don't get me wrong. There are. I just think the Timberwolves are better off with those guys on the court than without. And I think this offseason you need to take a hard look at certain people like a Jaden McDaniels, a Julius Randle, and figure out where you can go with them from there. That's just my evaluation of things. Pelicans, Zion Williamson plays his last games with the franchise. I don't personally see that. I don't. Look, it's so hard to give up a talent like this. No matter what you guys want to say about all the other goofy shit that's put out about this dude, and he's a goofy-ass dude. Don't get me wrong, he is, from the looks of it. He's still a top 10 basketball player when he's playing. He just is. The passing and the dribbling and the creation and just the effectiveness that he plays with is just unmatched. Like, there just isn't another player like him. And you don't just give up on guys like this. He's still pretty young, all said and done. So I think you tear this team down a little bit. You try to build it back up another way, because Zions don't just roll around that often, unless you're the Dallas Mavericks and you just trade Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Crazy, absolutely crazy still. So I think they hold on to Zion personally, but I don't know, like, where would you even send him to? Like, you obviously, if they did, they'd make it very public after the whole Dallas Mavericks thing. Like, there's just no way. Like, they'd get a king's ransom for him. They would just get it. They would get so much for him, because he's so talented. He's so talented. I don't know how else to explain this to you guys. Like, he's such a good basketball player. It's going to take a ton. And typically the Pelicans do all right in trades. So that's what I'd like to see. New York Knicks. Big lineups are unleashed. Okay, I see Huck Porty here. I'm curious. Karl-Anthony Towns has thrived, blah, 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 blah. All-star starter, just a tall lineup. It's going to be exciting, blah, 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 blah. Starting forward, OG Anunoby has missed time recently. And the Knicks will explore big man lineups with Towns at the 4 and Robinson at the 5. That's definitely something we want to see, because I think that'll improve the defense a lot, and the offense won't actually suffer. Now's the time to experiment and tinker. Is Mitch Rob back? Is Mitchell Robinson back? Like, have I missed this? Mitch Robinson. I think I completely misspelled that. Discusses extended absence, hopes to return at 100%. Okay, yeah, they need more time. Okay, that's what I thought I was going to say. I didn't think I saw him in there. Yeah, when Mitchell Robinson comes back, I definitely want to see that lineup. I think that would be, I think that'd be really cool. The Thunder, break franchise win record. Yeah, these two motherfuckers right here. Let's go get it done. Let's go get it done, man. Rooting for these Thunder boys, these young Thundercats, if you will. I'm excited for them. I think it's a fun group. I think all of us like watching them, and the fact that they can just throw out like 11 people every game, and any of them could drop 20 at any second. Pretty dang cool. Pretty dang cool. Not to mention they had 2 first-round picks that don't even play this year. So very cool. Very, very cool. Do I need to explain OKC anymore to you guys? Aaron Wiggins is hooping recently. Shout out to him. So there you go. Hartenstein and Chet together. Absolutely filthy. The Orlando Magic regret not trading for a true point guard. That's what I was talking about earlier, man. I've been saying it for a year now. This team needs to, like, it doesn't have to be the long-term option is the thing either. You do it to support the young guys that you're trying to grow, right? That's what you do. You go get somebody that can take some pressure off them, put them into more of the role that makes sense to them longer term, and just help them continue to build on their career momentum. There were people available. I don't understand why it didn't happen. The Colin Sextons of the world, the Kobe Whites, Jordan Clarkson, hell, like, I don't know, name any of those guys that were kind of available at that time. Anthony Simons, which made too much sense, but they didn't go for it. We'll see if Trae Young or LaMelo Ball becomes a thing. LaMelo Ball would be interesting with this group. I'd have to kind of do some thinking about that. And again, I need to see just more LaMelo Ball. I need to see him play with like different NBA players at the end of the day. God damn it. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna get better at this. I am. I'm aware of my problem. I'm aware. We're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. Just don't make this into too much of a meme, because I will overanalyze it. Tyrese Maxey carries them to a playoff berth. Like, they make it out of the play-in. But despite all the injuries and all of that, Maxey's a monster. He's not very efficient right now. With Embiid likely needing another knee surgery, Paul George having his own down year. Yeah, it's just kind of a mess there right now. He's going to beat them, or he's going to help them through the play-in and eventually a 7th, 8th seed. Sure, I mean, they've got enough talent to do it. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. So I have nothing to say for why they won't. It's also a very messy team, so I could totally see this team just completely crumbling and quite literally falling into injury despair. There goes an ambulance. I feel like that ambulance going by was symbolic of Philadelphia, but maybe it would have made more sense for New Orleans. So I could see this team going in every direction. Like I said, though, waiting for these motherfuckers to pass my Bulls. Come on, I'm trying to drop in these ratings. Y'all just can't do it quick enough. What is this, 4 and 6 right now? God damn it, get going. Get going. The Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant plays his final games for the franchise. I could see it. It's not like KD's a problem at all. Like, let's make that very clear. I think if this is where they stay with things, right? There's just no point. There's just no point. There's nothing that this group's going to do to get back to things. They're just going to have to look at themselves in the mirror and be like, fucked up. Shouldn't have traded Chris Paul. Should have tried to make the Ayton, Booker, Mikal Bridges, and Cam Johnson thing work. We just, got a little big for our britches. And look, KD became available. I don't blame you at all. He became available, and you were able to go and get him. So I probably do the same thing at the end of the day. Kevin Durant's awesome. You just weren't able to supplement it with enough. I think the Suns are trying really hard, and I think they've done a lot of really good things since then. It just hasn't worked, man. Sometimes it doesn't work. That Utah Jazz team never ended up beating the Bulls, and they were an all-time team. It's just how it goes. It doesn't mean they're not cool. I mean, this team's just not winning at all, period, unfortunately, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't work. Portland Trailblazers make a late season run at the play-in tournament. This is where Portland Trailblazers fans go, I hope the fuck we don't. Like, I know it's been a weird thing this year. Like, the Trailblazers are, like, winning basketball games right now. Scoot Henderson's looking really good. Tamani Kamara's starting to look good. Denny's starting to look good. All people that we've been highlighting, like, hey, these guys can get it going if you put the right kind of combo of people around him. And when you put a pick-and-roll player around Scoot, better things happen. Look at that, surprise, surprise. You get Ayton out of the way, things go a little bit better. We criticized this team during the deadline for not making any moves and everything, and they should still be held liable for that. But it's not like there's not talent on this basketball team. There is. It's just it's poorly coached, it's poorly managed, and I don't know what the goal is for this team. I don't know. Portland fans, let me know what you think, because I have to imagine you guys aren't trying to go up any further. I'd imagine you guys just want to be where you're at and continue to drop. The Sacramento Kings finish as a bottom 5 seed in the West. Yeah, it seems like the Magic's wearing off, and I don't mean the Orlando Magic, like the magic of the Kings kind of revival midway through the season is wearing off a little bit. Like the not quite having like the true point guard and everything. Probably going to be a problem for them in some instances. We just already know the Levine and DeRozan thing. While interesting basketball gets played at that time, it's not exactly elite winning basketball. It doesn't feel like a winning formula whatsoever. And so while there's a lot of talent here, I think Kings fans should be looking at themselves and being like, where are we going now? Like, is Keegan Murray ever going to get to touch the basketball again? Are we ever going to get to try to revive like some of the things we saw in him? What does this mean for Sabonis long term? Like, we have DeRozan and Levine locked up now. Is this just what we are going for? Malik Monk's still just chilling here, but you guys had a good deadline overall. I know, well, you guys lost De'Aaron Fox. That sucks. There was nothing you could really do about it at that point, and I think you guys did well. I think you guys built out a nice little bench. Laravia's cool. I'm excited to see him hopefully in a bigger role on a team, and you brought in Jonas, so we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to watching them play, though. There's just a lot of basketball players I like on this team. So the Spurs, Stephon Castle wins Rookie of the Year. Yeah, he's gonna have the opportunity to do so. That's for sure. They're putting him in more ball handling, responsible situations, and he's learning there. He's looking a lot more confident in his decision making, which spoke to the really intelligent nature that we kind of picked out about him going into the season. So he seems like he's learning very quickly. Like, he's getting to his spots. He's confidently rising for things. We're gonna have to tweak the form some more still, and obviously the percentages, while they've been better recently, there's still much bigger sample size out there that says that he's not good at that stuff. So we're gonna have to make some tweaks and everything, but for a rookie, yeah, nice talent at the end of it. I think you guys got a good one. I think he fits into the culture really, really well. The question will be, like, what is his long-term role? Because that I'm not clear on still. So that's where I kind of go, okay, now what? Where do we go from this? This is an interesting player, but now what? And that's something we talked about in the pre-draft process as well. We knew that he wasn't necessarily the position of need for the Spurs, but they didn't really see anybody that was with the draft pick they had. So they're like, well, I guess we'll take Castle. He fits the culture, and we think he's talented, so we'll just see what happens. And I think it's a great fit for them. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins Rookie of the Year. So congrats to him and his performance so far. The Raptors win too many games to get a top 5 pick. Okay. Tell me about it. Will now be too good to do once newly acquired Brandon Ingram makes his debut. Yeah, but you think they're not gonna rush him back? Like, there's no point. He signed the contract and everything. You got him extended and everything. What's the point? Like, you might as well just be bad and try to get somebody else. I can't imagine them like rushing him back and trying to get him on the basketball court. Like, yes, you should, because we got to see some film and get a baseline for him and Scotty and RJ and Quickly and Pirtle and this weird core that you're building. But in terms of like win too many games to get a top 5 pick, look, you could easily not have a top 5 pick in the NBA nowadays with just how the percentages work. Like, this isn't like statistically, it is the case that you won't fall into it. So, sure, yeah, I could see it. I just don't. I don't want it to seem like it's going to be like because they added Brandon Ingram. I think that's just a possibility that they don't get the pick. Isaiah Collier looks like the steal of the 2024 draft. Okay. I see why you're saying that. I don't think you're watching the games very much. Collier does a lot of really goofy shit when he plays basketball. The assist numbers are very cool right now. And yes, he's an interesting athlete and all that. You get this dude in a half-court situation, it's not looking very good right now. It looks very poor, actually. And I said my piece about Collier going into things. I just don't know if he has the basketball IQ to play at this level. And that's just me being honest about things. I truly hope I'm incorrect about that. I want him to have success. I want things to be awesome. I want him to be an MVP one day. Like, I hope so. That'd be so cool. I don't necessarily see it. I think this is a guy that's thriving off a pretty systemless team right now where they're putting a lot of young guys out there. They're getting out and running, just kind of doing whatever the fuck. He gets a ton of turnovers. And I don't know. The assist numbers are cool, though. They're giving him the ball this much. I'm a little bit confused, though, why they're moving away from Keontae George, because I think that that's a better prospect. All said and done, do I think he's necessarily a point guard long term? It's hard to say. Because that's not really how I pegged him coming into things, but he kind of surprised me with some of his ability. And Keontae George is a flawed prospect as well, don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It's going to be an interesting development cycle for him because, again, he is a very unique athlete. So we'll see. We'll see with Collier. The Washington Wizards secure the best odds at the number 1 pick. Yeah, well, look, 12-41, 9-44. They're bad. They lose by an average of like 13 points a game right now. It's nuts. The Wizards will face some stiff competition for a bottom 3 seed and a 14% chance at the top pick. That's the thing. They're going to have this bad of a season, and they only get a 14% chance at the first overall pick. That is tough. But you know what? They've got Middleton. They got Smart. They got Brogdon. I'm glad that they had a good deadline. They added some more picks. They brought in some vets to the team. I think that was a good move overall. Like, you got to help out these young guys somehow. I love watching Koulibaly play right now. Koulibaly is one of my favorite young guys in the NBA. I like watching Sarr play a lot too. We'll see with Carrington and George where they end up going with things. But I like the idea of Koulibaly and Sarr kind of starting things out right now. But anyway, that's it. That's where we think we're going after the deadline. Stay tuned for the comment to the video. Alrighty, y'all. Comment to the video comes from our grading every team's trade deadline. Not as much like a funny one here. I just want to shout out Matrix. Matrix is very active on the channel and on the Discord. If you're not on the Discord already, go join the Discord. People are talking there all the time. Matrix is a very educated person in the basketball realm, and he leaves very thoughtful comments. He said, man, the Charlotte Hornets were so close to a gold mine at the deadline, but then Mark Williams gets found out, like, oh, your body's deteriorating, and the Hornets PR is really bad, and they're calling the Lakers a nasty organization. Now you're just kind of awkwardly stuck with him. You got this cluster of bigs on a team that's trying to rebuild. He's curious about a Trae Young acquisition to this team at some point, which I think are all interesting thoughts, and I think it's a well-encapsulated look at the Charlotte Hornets right now. It feels like they're trying to do the right thing, but they've kind of misstepped a little bit here, which we don't need to judge them too hard for, but just something to keep track of in a franchise that historically struggles with certain things. But anyway, appreciate you guys as always. Go leave me a comment, and then maybe you'll be the comment to the video. But hey, appreciate you guys as always, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks so much. Bye.